I know this kind of seems a little out of the ordinary and out of the blue. I'm not in my normal setting that I'm usually in. I'm not in my room. I'm not behind my computer. I'm not recording with my PC. I'm recording with my phone, sitting in my car, making a video. And it's kind of an unexpected video because last night I streamed my very last I Am Bored stream for XJJ. And now I'm here recording a video that was not planned in my car at 9:39 at night. So it's kind of questionable, but here we are. A lot of things have happened in the past couple years, and a lot of things have changed, which has caused me to do a lot of thinking, has caused me to make a lot of changes to myself. And I want to take this time to actually talk about these changes. Now, I'm not going to be talking about any IRL things because honestly, I'm going to leave that out of it because it really doesn't have anything to do with what I'm about to talk about. However, I will mention a couple of things that has affected my decisions and how I've been online due to some things that have happened in IRL. But I will definitely let you know in this video what's IRL, what's not, and etc. So when it comes to XChaseJ, I created it a long time ago, back in 2021, where I was just going to use it to upload stupid little short videos, not planning to get any traction with it, just to go back and look at it, because I knew at some point I was probably going to download some bad files that I probably shouldn't have downloaded and get my PC or my gaming laptop at the time corrupted, which at one point I think that is what happened. I think I had no choice but to replace my gaming laptop because it did get corrupted. And no, it wasn't because I dropped it in the toilet. That was a scripted video that I posted on the REWE network. That was a scripted video. That none of that was true. None of that was true. That was a scripted video that me and somebody else came up with just to make for shits and giggles. But after that, I got a new gaming PC and I shifted all my stuff into my new PC, which is what I was using then. And I started going back to making more YouTube videos, and I actually decided to go mainstream with it. With XChaseJ, as you can see, I made a lot of fucking videos in the past 5 years. A lot. And I am very, very happy with majority of them. Some of them could have been a little bit better, but majority of them, I am very happy how they turned out. However, a big section and a big chunk of these videos consisted, and streams too, don't let me forget the streams, but a big chunk of these videos and these streams consisted of more people besides myself. And these people, you might know the names of Omar, John, Drew, Aiden, Osmar, Max, Jacob, Spam / Lucas, and Joe, and all these other different people. And that's kind of what made XChaseJ what it was. And that's also what led me to make a lot of these different Roblox animations, like the FNS show Island Adventure. That was a animation consisted of different people's Roblox characters in a Roblox movie that I created. And I wouldn't have been able to create that if I didn't have these people. I didn't have these people's like Roblox accounts and Roblox characters to import into this movie and create them as a solid character. So XChaseJ wasn't really about me. It was really about me and my friends and all the stuff we were able to do with it, and all the videos we were able to create, all the videos I was able to create, and all the videos that they were able to be a part of. And I'm very thankful for all of them who committed. I'm very thankful for all the memories that we've all made with these. However, due to that, behind the camera, we are real people. We are real friends. We've known each other for the longest time, but one thing that I will say is that some friendships don't last forever. Some friendships don't last a long time. And some of these people that I'm going to be talking about today in this video, I never would have thought that our friendships would end the way that they did, or end at all. Because even though we are online friends and we met each other online and we don't really we never created any plans or had any thought of actually meeting up in person, anytime soon at least, because there's so many different age gaps here. Like, we got some people who are in their like mid-20s, and then we got people like me who are in the 18 to 21 range, and then we got people who are in the 14 to 17 range. So the meeting up part in person probably was never going to happen. But at the end of the day, no matter who it was, I treated every person I met online as an actual person, because that's who they are majority of the time. There are some cases where we actually come up and meet or run into like bots, AI, NPCs, whatever the hell you want to call them. There's been a couple times like that. But majority of the time, I had a good way of seeing who was real, who wasn't, if that makes any sense. So with these people that I'm going to be talking about specifically, there's been some things that have happened in the past couple of years that caused me to have to branch away from them and go ahead and end the friendship where it was. And it pains me to say that, because I never wanted that to happen with these people. I wanted to always be on good terms. I wanted to be on talking terms. And I wanted to always have them to talk to have fun, to crack jokes with, make each other laugh, and all in all have a good time, whether it was talking in VC, chatting on Discord, or playing Roblox, etc. The first person that I'm going to talk about, which should be no surprise, is a guy named Osmar, or we call him Ozzy. Ozzy / Osmar, I met back in 2019 at this game on Roblox called WWE 2K18 that was also created by this one company or one group on Roblox called R2 Interactive. He was under the name Elite Radius. Radius, something like that. Elite Radius, something like that. And we started talking about some random stuff, and all of a sudden we added each other on Roblox, because I was thinking about wanting to bring back my Roblox Federation, known as REWE. And for all of you watching this video who don't know, REWE Federation, it's a Roblox wrestling federation in that community that I hosted. If you don't know what the Roblox wrestling community is, I've mentioned it multiple times in previous videos or live streams on XJJ. So if you want to see for yourself, go look it up. You'll find a lot of stuff on YouTube about it. But that's where I met Osmar. And with meeting Osmar, I also got to meet Omar, which at the time was going under the name End, like NJ or the NJ Master or something. That was his Roblox username. But we all know that as Roblox users, as Roblox players, we started our Roblox accounts with some really bad, cringy, awful Roblox usernames. Mine's not any better. Mine was Chase Time 149, so I obviously know. But that's when I met those two. And I do remember that sometime in 2019, when I was trying to get more into the Roblox wrestling community while also wanting to start my own federation again, I got added to this group chat called FNS. It didn't really have a name besides FNS. FNS didn't really stand for anything. It was really just 3 words Ozzy put together just to make it sound cool. CXS. I really don't know what CXS means. You could say it stands for Chase X Strong or Chase X Static, whatever you want. But if you ask me right now, what does CXS mean? Shit, it could stand for Cheeseburger X Steak. You never know. It's just when 3 words with 3 letters are put together, it sounds pretty fucking cool. So there's that. So FNS didn't stand for anything, but it was just the name of a Discord group chat that I got added to, and I was a part of that group chat for the longest time. And I remember that I think I was a part of that group chat for at least 6 to 8 years. which there was a couple of times that I left here and there, but it was like only for like a 3-month period, just because there's been like little childish arguments happening between me and him, and we just never saw eye to eye at some point, and then I just left. But like I said, it's all childish. But my main 3 people, or the 2 people that I talked to and hung out with the most on Roblox and on Discord, was Omar and Osmar. And for the longest time, it was always just us 3. Now, we had some other people like Robo, who was a part of that group chat. Sloppy became a part of that group chat and left. Young Mercy became part of that group chat and left. And some other stuff. Other few people here and there. But when it came down to it, the main 3 was always me, Ozzy, and Omar. And if you ask me right now, would I replace any of those moments or any of those memories that we made? I would not. I genuinely had a lot of fun talking with those 3, or talking with those 2. I had a lot of fun playing games with those 2. It was the best time. And I also had a really good time when they helped me host my Fed when I brought it back officially for a better run in 2020, which that was also during the pandemic. So during the pandemic, we had a lot of time to get back to know each other and connect more deeply and all the other stuff. But this past Christmas, or this past January, there's a lot of things happening. Well, not really this past January, really not this past summer, but the summer before last. So like summer of 2025, me and Ozzy got into an argument. And it was about this clothing brand that he created a couple years ago called FNS, which now is called Fully Notorious Supply. You can still find it on Roblox. It's still up and running. There's still a lot of clothing you can go and buy. But when he created FNS as a clothing brand, at first, Omar, were fully supportive about it. We were with it. We thought it was a great idea. And even Ozzy himself was able to teach me a lot of tips and tricks on how to make clothing, which I did not know how. And I'm very, very, very fortunate, because a lot of the creativity I have learned now, that I use now to create like Roblox clothing or create graphics and stuff like that, I learned it from him. Now, graphics, not so much. He taught me a little bit of the basics, but then I branched off from those techniques and actually developed my own. But when it came down to it, Ozzy created a lot of tips and tricks for me to use to improve. And I'm very, very thankful for that. He was the main developer for my Roblox Federation. He was the main guy that gave me a lot of good ideas to create some funny videos that you can still find here on XShay. But when it came to his clothing brand, for the first year or 2, it was solid. You know, he wanted us to help out, which was very reasonable. I understood that, because what else better do we have to do? We loved the clothing. We thought it was fresh. We thought it was drippy. And don't get me wrong, even to this day, I think a lot of the clothing is drippy. I think a lot of the clothing is absolutely amazing, and I think it's worth your Robux. But not for these past couple years, he started getting a little bit more serious about it, which is nothing wrong with that. But with him getting serious, he started getting a little bit more pushy. And what I mean by that is he started mainly making FNS the main focus, and not just to himself, but to the entire friend group. And then what I grew up knowing as a friend group, FNS, it started to become more of a brand. It started to become more of a, I guess you can say, clothing brand, more importantly, and kind of like a business. So slowly but surely, through those next couple of years, the friend group started to like dissolve and reincarnate into just nothing more but just a Roblox clothing group that did nothing else but talk about clothing, talk about the business, talk about what we can do to improve, what we can do to increase our sales, what we can do to grow the FNS community. And I was all for it. Like, I thought it was a great idea. But in my head, I also didn't want us to forget the reason why we're still here. And the reason why we were still here, the reason why we were still talking is because we were a friend group. We were three people who wanted to talk every day, talk about the most random bullshit, and still play games like Epic Minigames, Outlaster, Murder Mystery 2, etc. And while doing that, I was also still creating a lot of videos for XJJ, which Ozzy was very, very passionate about too. Like, he gave me a lot of good ideas. I'm not going to take that away from him. But when it came to a lot of these ideas, to me, he just wanted me to benefit FNS. He wanted me to just promote his brand. And it wasn't really just to help XJJ as a whole. Which, don't get me wrong, if you go to a lot of the beginning videos of XJJ, you will see in the description that a lot of these videos have in the description and advertisement in the video itself about shopping to FNS. I always made time to shop to FNS, to promote it, to make sure that if you are watching this video, you press that link in the description and you go check out the Roblox clothing that myself and Ozzy majority of the time has made. A lot of the clothing that you can buy now was made by him. But slowly but surely, like I said, the friend group started to dissolve, and then it became more of a business. And I didn't really like that very much. And another thing with that as well, Ozzy started to change too. He started to change more into that corporate boss that no one really wants to like, no one really wants to work for, because all he wants to do, he doesn't want to treat you like a person. He wants to treat you like you're his worker. He wants to treat you as somebody as, if you want to be friends with me, you have to give the same amount of commitment to FNS, to what I dedicate my heart to, as much as I do. And that's fine. That's fine. But you gotta draw an even line here. You know, what this is, it's starting to look a lot different from what it started as. Started as a friend group, started as a 3-person trio, and then slowly but surely the friend group came down and up came the brand. And then mid 2025, after a huge argument that we had, not really huge, but he started, you know, getting mad at me and accusing me of not supporting FNS. I wasn't doing this to FNS. I wasn't contributing enough. I wasn't contributing. That's the word I'm looking for. I wasn't contributing enough. And to the point where it was like, okay, well, if this is how you're going to treat me, if you're not going to treat me as a friend of yours and only as a business person, which I don't want to do business, I want to have friendships. I want to spend time. I want to make memories. I want to enjoy the time talking to you. I want to enjoy that. And if you're going to treat me as somebody who has to commit to something that I really don't want to fully commit to because it's kind of affecting our friendship in a bad way, then I'm just going to see myself out. I'm going to see myself out and I'm going to go ahead and leave. And that's exactly what I did. That's exactly what I did. I had enough. I had enough of his bullshit. And I said, all right, this is it. I'm gone. And I left the group chat. And that was, to me, that marked the official end of me being a part of FNS. Now, I do know that later that year, I would get added back to the group chat just because he wanted to spend one last time with all 4 of us. And he would come out in a weird type of way and apologize. Wasn't really that sincere, but I won't hold anything against him right now. But I came back. We were fine. We had a good summer. We hung out a lot. We had fun. But during this time, I decided to take a little bit of a hiatus and a break from Discord because I've always told people all the time that I think it's best to take a break here and there from Discord because you need to be able to figure out and remember who you are as a real person in your personal life, in your real life. And that's what I've always done. So I've always taken some time here and there just to focus on some other things. And like my job, which working at the post office, that's kind of around the time that I started anyway. Or I was there for like half a year. So during the time that I was gone, apparently him and Omar got into an argument, or not really an argument, but they just started secretly not wanting to be around each other to the point where they just weren't talking at all. And then when I came back, that's when all the stuff started between me and Ozzy, where he was starting to treat me wrong and all this other shit. And then I ended up leaving later that year. And then we had a whole another thing again. Well, no, I'm backtracking. So during this time that I was gone, him and Omar just quietly stopped talking over some reason. I really don't know the reason for myself, but it was something about Ozzy's claim was it was something that Omar did or said that caused him not want to talk to him anymore. Omar had a different claim than that and all this other stuff. Omar was saying he didn't do anything wrong. Ozzy saying that he did. I don't know who's true, and honestly, I don't care. It had nothing to do with me. Why should I care? Because at this point, I was like, this ain't friendship. We're not a friend group anymore. We're literally just people who are coming back to benefit you. It's not benefiting us because we're still going to be here. It's benefiting you. So we're doing this for you, and y'all are wanting to do this. But anyway, so after I came back, I heard that happened, and Ozzy done left. He wasn't leaving the group chat or anything. He just quietly left to go focus on his personal stuff in real life. And I said, that's fine. But during this time, there happened to be a situation regarding my other group chat that I run called the Pizza Line, where our buddy Drew, at the time, he got into some, John, y'all know John and Joe did some shit that caused him to leave and take a break. And during that time, or a little bit after that time, Omar and John reached out to him or tried to reach out to him through his girlfriend at the time. And it stressed her out, stressed him out. And he came back just to set the line straight and caused a whole lot of bullshit and offended a lot of people. Then Omar left. And then after that, it just started a huge divide between the friend group. There was one side called the Island side, and then there was the Pizza Line side. And there was a lot of people who were playing the middle, but at one point when Drew came back, it just consisted of me, Joe, and Drew. Then a little bit after this time, Ozzy came back. And me, Ozzy, and Joe started hanging out again. But then one day, Ozzy was in his words trying to nitpick at me about the things that have been going on in my friend group and make jokes about it towards me in a rage baiting format. And I didn't want to deal with that because I was like, we're not as cool as we used to be. We're not as cool at all, even though I did tell Joe that I wouldn't mind talking to Ozzy again, because at the end of the day, I think we're past the shit that we were dealing with. I think we're past that. We're grown. We can have fun without having to deal with any of this bullshit that obviously has nothing to do with him. So I don't know why the fuck he would even be making jokes about it. But he would make a joke to me about it, and I would just, I wasn't having it. So I took my anger out on Joe. And then after that, after I took my anger out on Joe, he went to Ozzy about it. And then beginning of 2026, I got added to a group chat with Ozzy and Joe, and me and Ozzy had a huge argument about explaining over the past couple years what's been going on, what he has been doing, what I have been doing. And it ended to the point where we ended things on bad terms. We didn't apologize for anything I had nothing to apologize for. He sure as hell didn't apologize for anything he did. And we left it at that. At that point, in my opinion, that was the day that the real FNS died. And that was when the friendship, the 8-year-long friendship that me and Ozzy built, was completely gone. It was over. And since that day, obviously I've always had thoughts in my head of being like, damn, I kind of wish things were different. I kind of wish that never happened. But you can't control the things that people do. You can't control the things that people say. Most of the time they're going to say things that they want to, and you have only two choices. You can roll with it, or you can make your own choice about it. And I chose to deviate from that. I chose to push him out of my life and move away from him and move on from him. And that's exactly what I did. And that's what I've been doing for the past half year. And it has been kind of hard because, he is someone that I truly cared for, someone that I truly wanted to talk to every day. Even if it wasn't every day, like I wanted us to always be on good terms, but that just obviously didn't happen. And I still don't know to this day that will ever change. I don't know. He has not made any attempts to reach out to me. He has not made any attempts to try to apologize for anything, and I haven't made any attempts to reach out to him. I don't have anything to reach out for because there's nothing for me to do. You know, I'm not going to go out of my way and try to fix something that I know I can't fix, that has to be fixed by himself. So, but I hope he's doing great. Ozzy, if you are watching this, I hope that you're doing all right. I hope that when it comes down to it, you are doing everything that you wanted to do as of right now. I hope that you are being successful in your personal life. I hope that for you, because even though we ended on bad terms, I'm not going to stand here and wish the worst for you, because at the end of the day, why should I? Because you can just do the same thing right back to me, and I don't want that. But I'm going to be a man, and I'm going to be honest, and I really do hope and say that you do end up getting everything that you want and deserve. I hope that you do. I hope everything in your life is successful. But I will also say this, that if you do ever want to talk about anything, you can always add me and we can talk. I don't know how I do not know if things can ever go back to how they used to be. In order for that to happen, you would have to show me actual proof and actual evidence that you are committed to that. But if you're not, then we're just going to have to leave it how it is. And I don't know what's better. I have no idea. I'm not going to stand here and try to justify that, because why should I? So if that was the true end, again, I salute you. Wish nothing but the best for you. Now, one last person I do want to talk about. I could talk about Joe, you know, because Joe, me and him had an altercation too, but Joe wasn't really that relevant when it came to XJJ. Somebody that was really relevant when coming to XJJ that I considered to be a really good friend of mine was Drew. And here recently, me and Drew are no longer friends due to a situation that happened about a month or two ago. So how me and Drew met was back in 2020 during REWE. He joined my federation, and ever since then we slowly talked here and there, but then we started to becoming more of good friends, and never once did we have an argument, never once did we ever just completely get mad at each other to the point that we didn't want to talk anymore. We were always on the same page, we always saw eye to eye, and we always cracked jokes and had a good time with each other. But things were hard for him last year when things were going on in his personal life. I'm not going to go into details about it, but things were going on, and at the time, without John not knowing, he didn't know anything about it, he was making alt accounts called DrewSack to impersonate Drew and make a joke about it, about him, not anything happening in his personal life, because John didn't know anything about it. But Drew came back and saw that and got absolutely pissed, which, to be honest, in that situation was rightfully valid. I would have been pissed about it too. And due to that, he left the group chat. He went on his own, took a break, and left it at that. But he took a very, very long break, to the point where Omar and John got really concerned. And I got concerned too, but I was constantly always DMing him every once in a while in his DMs on Discord, hoping that maybe one day he'll reach back out to me. But John and Omar wanted to actually check on him and see if he was all right. So what they decided to do was they decided to reach out to his girlfriend at the time and ask her. But due to this, she got really stressed out about it, then went to Drew and told Drew about it, and then Drew got stressed out, so Drew came back just to confront Omar about it and stuff, Omar and John. And then due to that, he unfriended a lot of different people. That also caused Omar to unfriend some certain people and leave the group chat as well, with John and a lot of other different people following him after that. So after that, it became just me, Joe, and Drew on that side, and then it was everybody else on the other side. I've already explained just a little bit earlier, talking about Ozzy, what happened between me, Joe, and Drew. Joe turned out to be somebody that we just really couldn't trust fully, and he brought that upon himself, and me and Drew made a decision to branch off from him, and because of that, Me, Omar, and the other everyone from inside created a Discord server called the Island of Legacy, which is still up and running. If you want to join it, link in the description. But Drew, it took a while for Drew to join back, but eventually he did, and then eventually everyone came back to the peace line. But about a month ago, around the time that Conor McGregor was supposed to return on UFC, this guy named Junior added Strong to the server. Now, the whole situation with regarding Drew and Strong is that 3 years ago, Drew and Strong were good buddies, and Drew was dating this girl at the time, but then him and this girl broke up, and then Strong, being his buddy or whatever, started dating that same girl. Now, Drew didn't fuck with that because he was like, we're supposed to be best buddy, that's bro code, you can't do that, and they got into a huge fight about it, which caused them to stop being friends. Now, I can't remember if I made these comments about online dating on XShay, but if I have not, I'm going to make it here. People who know what I'm talking about, you already know how I am. I think online dating is stupid. I think it's the dumbest thing in the world, and I don't think it's accurate. I don't think it's true, because all you're really doing is just talking to somebody behind a screen. And to me, that's not real commitment. That's not real, it could be to you. And anybody who watches this video that does mainly online dating, and that's something that you want to do, go for it. I'm not going to judge you for it, but obviously my opinion is that online dating, I don't believe in that. I believe in in-person dating. That's why I don't do that. But like I said, other people do. Other people think that it's their way of finding love, and if that is truly your way of finding love, then go ahead. Do what you want. But when it came to that, Drew obviously saw that Strong was added to the server. He decided to go ahead and just leave the server. And in the group chat, John questioned him about it. John was like, why did you leave? And Drew was like, I already know the situation between me and Strong. I don't want to fuck with him. And John was over here saying that, dude, this whole thing between you and Strong was 3 years ago. There's really no point to get all pissy about it. I don't think you should have left the server. I think you should just go ahead and just attempt to talk to him in a way. And Drew didn't like that very much, because Drew was like, in Drew's way of looking at it is that if you are a friend of mine, why are you over here telling me to do something or recommend that I do something that I know that I shouldn't do? Why should I? It was that type of thought that Drew was thinking. And after that, Drew wasn't talking in the server or in the group chat for a while, and then John decided to make a quick little jab at him that we always do, that we always crack the joke about anybody, because on Discord, if you have on your status as offline but you can still chat, we usually say so and so is talking in the chat. It's just a pointless, hurtless jab that we make at people, and so on and so forth. But when Drew read that, Drew just like not having it, he said that was the final straw, and then he left. And all this happened while I was asleep. So when I woke up the next day and saw that, I immediately DM'd Drew and I said, Drew, what's going on? Why did you leave the server? Or why did you leave the group chat? And he told me everything. He told me just to read what happened. So I gave my opinion. I said, look, I understand leaving the server. I completely understand that. That's not what I'm upset about. I'm upset about the fact that you left my group chat again about some shit that has nothing to do with me. I get that the group chat belongs to me, but it consists of a lot of other different people. But you left it again, and in my opinion, I think you're just letting what John's saying get to you. I think you're just overreacting a little bit, because at the end of the day, John's just going to talk. That's all he does. He doesn't really mean a lot of the shit that he says, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of the thing that he was saying, he didn't think was going to offend you that bad. And I was just like, please, can you just join the group chat back? Because I didn't want to go through the shit again. And he said he'll think about it. Well, a month goes by and he never DM'd me. He never gave me an answer. And I was telling people during this month period in the group chat, I was saying, I'm going to give Drew 10 days. If he doesn't take me back in 10 days, we're just going to find somebody to replace him, because at this point, I know that I can't defend him in this situation. I don't think this is worth defending. I think I do think it is a little over the edge. I think it's a bit of him just overreacting completely. And I explained this all to him in DMs a month later when I confronted him about it officially. But what really started making me feel like I was in the wrong is that on TikTok, I send a lot of different people that I know on Discord that I have on TikTok. I send him a lot of the same TikToks, and he responded to a couple of these, but during this time, he didn't respond to my DM. So I was like, okay, well, that to me feels like, okay, well, then if you can do this, why can't you just confront me? Why can't you just give me a solid answer? Why can't you just tell me that, no, you're not going to join the group chat back, or yes, you are? You know, I just don't understand that. And a month goes by, and I decide to go ahead and tell him and be like, look, I know it don't take you a month. I don't know if you got shit going on, but since you didn't want to give me a solid answer, I'm just going to say it for you. I think it's best that we just go ahead and end things where they're at. You obviously are not making any commitment to come talk to me. I know I haven't made any commitment to talk to you, but I was just giving you space and giving you time. But a month has gone by. You've obviously made some comments on TikTok about the TikToks I've been sending, but you're not making any commitment on Discord. Well, I don't understand why that is. It started making me feel like that I'm doing something wrong. And to be fair, the time that he did respond to my TikToks was around like maybe 3 or 4 days after he left the group chat. So I'm like, okay, well, that's not really valid. But you would have thought that maybe if he was considering, if he knew the damn well that I didn't do anything wrong, why are you not talking to me? Is it because that I am talking to John? Is it because that I am still in that group chat with him? But no, he didn't give me a solid answer before that. So I just went ahead and told him that I think you're making me feel like I've done something wrong, even though I'm not aware of anything. So because of that, due to the situation, and this is not the first time that you've acted like this, I think this is the type of attitude or type of situation that I cannot associate myself with anymore. I can't do that. So I decided just to go ahead and tell him that, look, I think it's best that we just go ahead and go our separate ways. I don't think I'm not going to be involved in another bullshit rant. I'm not going to be involved in another war. I'm not going to be involved in a lot of the other bullshit where there's going to be another division. I'm not doing that. I don't want to do that. I'll only do it if I'm forced to or if I have to, which at this point, while I'm recording this video, I have had to. But right then and there, I told him that, look, we're just going to have to go separate ways. I wish nothing but the best for you and all that other stuff. Now, he did reply to that. He did say that he is thinking the same thing. However, he wanted to make clear that me and Omar did nothing wrong. And he feels bad and said that he will apologize to me and Omar for not letting us know sooner where his head's at or leaving us in the dark. But he's saying that he thought John was one of his homeboys. And with that, with John and the stuff that he said, I don't know why he would say those things. And if he was really a good friend of mine, he wouldn't have said that. And I was like, all right, well, to me, if you know that me and Omar were not in the wrong and you're telling me this, why are you agreeing with me? Why are you not convincing me that we should still be friends? Why are you not convincing me that we should still talk on a daily basis? You are now putting me in a position where I cannot talk to you anymore. You're making me feel like you don't want to talk to me. That's where I'm at. So after that, the next day, he unadds me, he unadds Omar, he unadds John, and he unadds a shit ton of different people that are in a group chat besides 2 people that he still talks to. And if you're in this group chat, you know who I'm talking about. And if you know who you are and you're watching this video, I'm on to you. I'm not going to make a deal about it. I'm not going to make a big deal about it, but just know I ain't stupid. But he had added all of us the next day. And that really upset me because I was like, I thought we were cool. Even though I said I wanted to go separate ways from you, doesn't mean that we can't never talk again. You know, I didn't say that. I didn't reach out to you a month later basically saying that we got to stop communicating. We can still talk. You can still reach out if you need something. But now you've put me in a position where I have to live with the fact that I did something wrong. And if the only thing that I did wrong was talking shit about the situation, I'll raise my hands. I will turn myself in for that. Because at the end of the day, I was giving out my opinion. I was giving my opinion out about you in the situation. I was giving my opinion about John in the situation. I was giving my opinion about the certain people that were hanging out with you or still talking to you after all of this. You forced all of us to have to pick a side. You forced all of us to do that. And then a couple months before, you apparently told Omar and John that you were going to plan on leaving all of us behind. All of us behind. For what? You weren't going to leave all of us behind and leave Discord. No, you were going to leave all of us behind and start new with completely different people. When did me and you ever have anything wrong? You mentioned my name in that conversation. You told that to Omar and John to their face, and probably mentioned a lot of different people. But why is it? Why was my name brought up? I thought we were cool. I'm the same guy, and I might get a little heated about the situation because it's still relevant in my head. If I do, I'm sorry. But why me out of all people? Why are you adding me to that conversation saying that you want to get away from me? What have I done to you? Last time I checked, I have defended you a lot of different times when you were probably in the wrong, but I still defended you. I never went against with what you said. I've always supported you in things that you talked about just the same way how you did to me. I gave back what you gave me. But now all of a sudden, you want to push me away? We can't talk anymore? You want a reason to get away from all of us? To me, that's cowardly. It's cowardly. And you didn't want to talk to any of us or me about it at all. And now, I don't know what the hell you're doing now, but I'm going to tell you like I just talked about Osmar. I hope you're doing great. I hope that whatever you're doing, you're happy. I really hope you are. But to me, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. You know, because you gave me nothing to go off of. You just snapped your fingers and said, okay, well, if he wants to split away from me, wants to go separate ways, that means that he hates me. That means he thinks I'm completely wrong, which, Drew, if you're watching this video, I'm sorry. You're in the wrong, buddy. You're completely in the wrong. You overreacted. You completely took things way out of proportion. I get it. John could be in the wrong too. He could have, all this could have been avoided if John just let it alone, 100%. But I can't ignore the fact that you've already told Omar and John, apparently, that you were planning on leaving. That you were planning on leaving all of us behind. You were planning on leaving the friend group and starting new somewhere. That's what you were planning to do. I cannot leave that fact out. I cannot leave that out. So with that in mind, to me, this whole entire situation, to me, looks like you used it as an excuse just to leave. If that's the case, then I can't defend you for that. I can't say that you're not in the wrong for that. I can't. Because I can't get behind it. I can't understand that. And if you watch this video and you see this part and you think that I'm in the wrong or I'm saying things wrong, let me know. We can talk. We can have a civil conversation about it. We can. But you have to prove to me. You have to prove to me. And I'm sorry that the way that I'm doing this is making a video about it. But I wanted to at least get this out because I'm not finna bottle all this inside. I'm not finna bottle all this inside. I'm tired of having to give up friendships with people that I never thought I was have to lose friendships for just because you can't get your shit together, nor could he. All right. But at the end of the day, I love you. I love Osmar. I love all of y'all who watch this video. Every single one of y'all, you have my love. But with my love, I would expect something to come back. I would expect you to return that same love back to me. Because that's the position that all of us have put ourselves in. You disrespect me, yes, I will go out of my way and disrespect you if I need to. Better yet, a good way to say that is that if you disrespect me, I will not respect you. I won't go and disrespect you, but I will not respect you. You will not have my respect. I've sacrificed so much on Discord, so much online. I've sacrificed so much time. I've sacrificed so much opportunities in my personal life to hang out with y'all, to make memories with y'all, and this is what it's led to. That's where my head's at. That's what I think about on the daily. So, like I said at the very beginning of it, after 45, 46 long minutes, I said that this was unexpected. This was not a video I thought I was going to make, but I'm in the position where I felt like I had no choice. I needed to get my thoughts out there, and I thought by creating a video and posting it was probably the best way how to do it. So, like I said at the end of the Iron Board 28 stream, the last Iron Board stream, I had said that it'd be expecting one last video for Chase's channel, one last video for Battle Lab, and be expecting a tribute video to all of XChaseJ in the finale. But is that my cat? That is my cat on my car. I hate him. He's so dumb. But anyway, whenever you're watching this video, I hope that this video helps you understand everything. I hope you follow me over to my solo channel when I make it in the future. I don't know when exactly. I can't really give you a solid date yet, but when I do, you guys will be the first to know. But until then, this was fun. I am sweating. It's hot in here. I don't have the air on, so I'm going to go back inside, take a cold shower, and I'm going to go to bed. So anyway, to sign you guys off, I hope you have a good rest of your day or a good rest of your night. Bye.